everybody. Welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
And we have part 3 of Mary's starting a new garden.
Starting a new garden.
So we
have hit graphing, planning, deciding what kind of bed you would like to build.
We have.
Mm-hmm. And now part 3.
We got part 3 for you. And looking forward to that. But before we get started, like we always do, we got to ask what's new in the garden. And I'm going to cut you off because we definitely have something new in the garden that happened today.
We do. Mm-hmm.
So I will just set the stage and then you can jump right in. But I was in the office when Mary came in and said, Jeff, so I think something's burning in the garden. I gotta set the see.
We have to set the scene.
We have to set the scene. So you guys know we are in Central Texas, and it has been like brutally hot here the last few days. It was 105 yesterday. I think it was supposed to be 106 today, but the heat index is
to be a record.
Like 108, 109. It's hot here. So when you came in and said something was burning, I honestly didn't even know what to take of it because, I mean, nothing should be burning in the garden. I know it's hot, but it ain't that hot.
Well, I had already been out there. I had already been involved in the process of checking everything out, making sure there was safety, but I still ran in to grab you.
Yeah.
Because,
So what?
It was a little panicky.
It was, it was very odd.
It was very odd.
I came out and I saw that the wood on one of the raised beds was charred, and you had already started to douse it with water.
I was doing that, and I happened to walk out the back door. I had just been outside an hour previously to let our dogs run in the backyard, and this was their hourly break, and I walked outside, and I thought it was kind of odd. Somebody was barbecuing or something in the middle of the day. And I walked down into the backyard towards the kitchen garden to check on everything. And that is when I discovered
that we were barbecuing.
We were
barbecuing wood.
In one of our raised beds. Yes.
And so when I came out, you were watering it, and I was trying to take a look and see like what's going on.
I was trying to flood the container.
You were flooding. You did a great job. You got the water hose out right away, and so we had some charred wood there, and it was definitely burning, but
was smoking.
But what we found was we had what was that ball thing?
It's called a gazing ball. It's a glass gazing ball,
right? And it's a garden art,
and it is a piece of garden art. We've had it ever since we moved in here.
We have.
For years and years. And it had always lived in the garden. And I just didn't realize that it had the propensity to concentrate the sun's rays. And I think that's what happened.
I do too. Yeah. And it was we did not have it like normally it hangs. We didn't have it hanging. It was kind of in the bed, kind of in the corner, and the sun must have just hit it correctly, and it's crazy. That's a crazy thing to see, to be honest with you.
Well, needless to say, I walked around the whole garden and I removed all glass objects.
Yeah.
that we have. We have a little bowl that we fill with water for the birds and so forth. And so I even was considering removing the hummingbird feeders, but I didn't go that far.
I think they'll be okay. But I mean, it just goes to,
away.
I mean, it is a cautionary thing. It is literally that hot here. And I know not everyone has the same climate as we do, but it is unbelievably hot here, and that sun was concentrated there. I think it did it just like almost like a little magnifying glass, just kind of go into it. So,
and I suspect that at a distance it could still do that with the heat right now.
Yeah, it is crazy. So just a little, we had some little activity, little action this morning.
And a cautionary
tale we want to let you guys know about. Yeah.
I'm so thankful that I was able to I just flooded that whole container.
You did.
I just really flooded it out.
You did, and we've been checking it. So, I mean, we're good. I think we're in the clear. We took the ball out. It got it cooled down in water, and we'll get rid of that. But just a little note to you guys out there. If it starts getting out, you might want to kind of look around just to kind of check and see if you have anything that could do that. I certainly would never have thought that, but that's, pass that on. Well, outside of that, Mary, what else is new?
Let me get my heart.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was you know what? Happily we were here, and we weren't gone when that happened, but we're good.
And then we're in and out all day. Okay. Well, I was going to mention that our silver ponyfoot has just been growing so beautifully. It is a beautiful gray ground cover that we've mentioned several times this year. And so you trimmed it back and made it look so neat and tidy and pretty. And it has grown about, I would say it's a good 6 inches thick.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Matting.
It's done really well. I like it.
And you've laid it in several areas around the yard so we could get it to root.
Well, it had grown so far, like over, kind of where the boundary of the garden was, that once I took it out, I had these big mats of it. And so, so I stuck it in some other places in the garden and watered it, and hopefully it'll take root and do it again.
I encourage people to do that. That's one really good way to gain more plants.
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
Of the silver ponyfoot anyway. And I was going to ask you how you think your lawn is doing.
I think the lawn's doing, I will say, up until today, the lawn is, it's just so hot. I mean, it's okay. It'll, it's going to come back.
It will come back.
And it doesn't look bad, but, it's getting to be that in August.
Crunchy.
Yeah, a little bit. And it wasn't like that like 3 or 4 days ago, but it's just been so hot lately that last few days. And we're always on watering restrictions here. So it's not like we can't water every day.
Right. Oh, no. Not at all.
And it's okay. So it'll come back here. And I guess the good news is a lot of times in Texas, this starts much earlier in the summer. We've actually not had that bad of a summer up until now. So, just we'll get through this next week or two, and then I think the grass will pop right back and everything will get back to normal. But so far, so good. I like the grass was doing really well. No complaints.
No complaints from me either. Yeah. I think you've been doing a good job.
Thank you.
We have taken walks every morning, and some of the plants that have been blooming around our neighborhood that are gorgeous, I stop every morning and I exclaim over the flowers. Are the rock rose is blooming. It's not a true rose, but it is more of a native shrub in our area, and it has a fuzzy green leaf with a beautiful pink flower that comes on it, very pollinator friendly. And our golden lantana around the neighborhood is just, the contrast between those two plants together is gorgeous, just gorgeous. And the other thing that I am in love with, every time we walk by, one of our neighbors has a hardy hibiscus, and it has the most vibrant purple blooms. They're just beautiful, and they're actually a good 6 inches across. And it's covered with blooms, and it has been for a while.
Let me ask you, we walk every morning, you point out the plants, and I ask you every single day, what is that? What is that?
You
ever
ask
wonder
me,
about that?
Mary, what is that plant in the backyard?
Do you ever wonder about that? I have you, so I don't really have to. Yeah, I don't need to. They're pretty. I like them, but you're there, so I can just ask you what they are. I like that. That's how it works. We got a good relationship there.
We have a good relationship. Yeah. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Do you have anything on your list of the new items?
No, I don't. We talked about our friendly spider that we had, I think a couple weeks ago, and she has left. I don't know if she left on her own accord or, we did not kill it. We didn't take it down. We let it just kind of stay. It was kind of cool to watch. But then she's gone. So I don't know, if she just kind of packed up and left or what happened. But anyway, it was kind of cool.
She packed her web and moved on.
Yeah. So we got spiders. We got a roadrunner that comes, zipping around the house every once in a while.
I was wondering about the roadrunner.
Yeah.
And we have seen foxes.
We have seen foxes. And then the other morning, it wasn't even that early. It wasn't crazy early. And, there was a deer out there.
There was a deer.
So, and we're in a subdivision, folks. So we're not out in the country.
No, not at all.
But, it's an area that's newly developed. And so.
And we have huge flocks of birds.
We do.
We don't know if she took off on her own or if something took her off.
Yeah, we're not sure. But it was cool while it lasted. She lasted a couple weeks with us.
Yeah,
so.
she's gorgeous.
I think that's outside of our walks and me asking you what everything is, which I'll continue to do. I don't think I had anything else.
Well, that is wonderful.
So are we going to
mine as well.
I'm gonna cue you in. Ready? We're gonna go to the next section. Whoa!
Oh, that's new.
Like that? We're going to
applause. That's very new.
We're gonna go to part 3 of starting a garden.
Well, once you decide where you're going to place your garden, and you kind of know what it is you want to grow in that garden, and you have decided on how you're going to grow in ground, raised bed, or container gardening, somehow or other you have to have a substance to grow your roots in. And that's what we're really going to talk about today. I know that when we first got started gardening, it took us by surprise. We learned how to calculate how you need to order your fill. So what you do is you are going to take the length of your garden bed. You're going to take the width of the garden bed. And this is for any of them. This is for container, in-ground, raised bed, any of them. And then you're going to calculate using the height. And when you use those 3 measurements, you get your cubic foot. And that is how you're going to source any of your fill material. And so as we decided to put in our in-ground beds, we turned to a landscaper. We did our calculations and discovered that we needed like 10 yards for our first garden bed, and that gave us a height of about 6 inches to work with and planting our material. That was a lot of soil to have delivered.
It was.
But honestly, it is a cost-efficient choice if you have the room for them to deliver the soil. Now, when you go to talk to a landscaper, let's use 1 cubic yard, and that is 27 cubic feet of filled dirt. That's going to fill a bed that's like a raised bed that's approximately 3.5 feet wide by 5 feet long, let's say by 17 inches tall. It takes almost like 1 cubic yard to do that. And so I love a fill that's produced by Geo Growers in our area. And so I looked it up. They call it Thunder Garden. And it's a really good mix, and you don't have to add anything to it. It's ready to go. And it was about $145, and then they add a delivery fee for the truck. So about $60 thereabouts. Well, for $205, you're going to get about 1 cubic yard to fill that raised bed, and plus taxes, and you really don't have to add amendments. So if you're going to look on the landscaping side, calculate how much you're going to need, and then look for the best growing fill that you could get. And keep in mind that a lot of times it won't be completely weed free, but we did not have any troubles with ours. No, and it has lasted us so nicely for a good almost 6 years now.
Yeah, it did well.
Very
And just
good.
kind of a note too on I think what we tried to do was get a lot, because the delivery fee was a one-time fee.
Right.
It wasn't, it's per load. The other thing we did, kind of just throw that out there, because, they deliver it and dump it in your driveway.
They do.
But we purchased a DR Power Wagon, which was a motorized big wheelbarrow type of wagon that we were able to fill. And it held, I don't know, 800
It
pounds or
held-
something.
Yes.
And, it helped because you still have to put dirt in and out, but
You do.
we put the dirt in, and at least we weren't, it was, motorized, and we could start it up and we could drive it, kind of guide it back there.
Right.
And that was a big help. We used that a lot. We used that for that. We used it for the rock and stuff too. So just to kind of throw that out there,
That's
because
true.
when they deliver it,
You do have to shovel it and carry it.
and it's a little
Yes.
overwhelming when you look out there and go, wow, okay, what did I just do?
I mean, if you were using a wheelbarrow, 1 cubic yard is going to take you all day.
It is. So that was a good, for us, that was a good, thing for us to invest in.
Right.
So that
But
worked
we
out.
don't use that anymore.
We don't, because we've done the bulk of it. And now, what we're, and you talked about it, you'll probably talk about it too,
Yes.
but now we don't do the bulk. We just buy bags, and we have a little
Right.
pull wagon we can use. But for the initial, trying to get the initial stuff out there, that's a lot. That's a lot to get
And
back
most
there.
people probably look to hire a landscaper
Yeah.
to come in. I'm really basing what we're talking about on DIY.
Yeah.
So that's a very good tip. If someone else has the room, you could see if you could get a front loader that would be able to move your fill dirt. But the problem is we didn't have that choice because we didn't have the room for a front loader.
Yeah.
That's why we used the DR Power Wagon.
Right, and that's what I just wanted to kind of throw that out there. But I mean, and
That's
everybody's
a
going to do
good
things
point.
different, right? I mean,
Yes.
it depends on how big, how much, but
Right.
just kind of let you guys know, we bought a lot of fill, and so for us it was worth it. But we certainly could have kind of downsized and taken our time and done it a little differently. But
True.
we kind of chose to. Well, because I like just trying to get it done, and we got our boys over to help us too. So
Thank you.
I just wanted to throw that out there as you're getting through there, just as an option there.
Right. Well, so if you add labor and you add the other costs together, maybe that's not as economical of a choice. It might seem like it's very economical up front, but you got to weigh
Yeah,
everything.
you got to weigh it. You have to
it
weigh
out.
how much you're willing to do.
Yes.
Like I said, you certainly could have hired someone they could have had it dumped and hired somebody to bring it back there.
True.
We didn't do that,
No.
but you can do that. You can go smaller. You can do. I mean, the DR Power Wagon, though. It paid for itself about 10 times
Oh,
already
yes.
because of all the stuff we used it for. Now we don't need it, obviously, because we don't really do any of that anymore. But just to throw it out there. So
Thank you.
a couple options.
Well, today, one of our things that we really try to do is we look for bagged products, and that helps to be able to research. You could do your research and understand what it is that you're actually purchasing. And what you want to do is put in an amount that you're willing to budget for the product, and then go out to any source in your area for that specific product and for the specific size of bag that you're looking for, and figure out your cost that way. That's another way to go about it. Now, when I was doing my example for the blog, what I said was, all right, let's put a raised veggie bed in, and we're going to decide that it's going to be 4 foot by 4 foot and about 1 foot deep. And that's for ease of calculations. So you're going to need to have 16 cubic feet of bagged mix to fill that space. And that's like 0.59 of a cubic yard, so over half of a cubic yard. That's a lot. When you stop and think about the amount of soil,
it is.
But this is going to last you for a long time. So when I'm thinking about buying a bagged product, I've been doing this for a while now, so I'll decide what it is, what product I'm interested in, and I'll decide what my price range might be. Now, bagged products, you really, really need to stop and read the bag. It could come in quarts. Like a lot of times it'll say 40 dry quarts. Or it might list itself as 1 cubic foot, 1.5 cubic foot, or 2 cubic feet. And so for my example, I'm going to say 2 cubic feet. And because we know, let me go back up to my calculation here. We need 16 cubic feet. So if we have 2 cubic feet per bag, that is going to take us 8 bags?
8 bags.
To fill. Okay.
Yeah.
I am going to estimate, because I have a product in mind. I know that I could get this product for $19.99 for 2 cubic feet. So that's going to run me $60. No.
160.
160. Thank you, honey. Plus tax. All right. So we are going to be able to haul it back and forth. I won't have the hauling fee, and I could do it a little at a time when I want to.
Right.
And the other thing is, I know that when I fill my raised beds with this mix, I'm going to have to add to it over the years. Like next year, it'll sink and I'll have to add some more. And that's just the way it goes. But it won't be that huge amount all at the same time. So you also, using this, if you source your bagged mix and it's a premium one, and let's say you go organic, it's luxury, it's premium, you may not have to amend that soil until next year. You might not have to add any extra to it, any extra compost or anything. Then, even if you have your premium bag, even a container, if you want to do like a whiskey barrel, a half whiskey barrel is really common to use in the garden. It's still going to take 4 cubic feet. So that's going to be 2 bags.
Right.
I mean, calculating that fill amount is going to be so beneficial to you when you're looking for what you're going to do. I run the habit, sadly, of overestimating, but still, it works out in my favor usually. I could use it somewhere else. And so the third option is to research mixing your own. Gosh, that's something that I'm very interested in doing, And so I haven't done that, but I do want to reference square foot gardening. There's a book out about square foot gardening, and there's also a website, squarefootgardening.org, and they teach you how to use Mel's Mix. And I think that's a very common mix that people use. It is 1/3 of a coarse vermiculite. Vermiculite is an expanded rock, and it helps to regulate your water in the mix so you don't over or underwater. 1/3 of a coconut coir or sphagnum peat moss mix. I like to use the Canadian one that is certified sustainable. And then a blended organic compost. So I think that's what's held me back a little bit, because they recommend using 5 different types of compost. And it's just going to take me time to sit down and decide which 5 composts I would like to use. And then the other website is called Build a Soil, and they're a little bit more involved, but you could get some great information off of their site. So you're going to calculate how much material you need. You're going to estimate your budget that you're willing to spend, and then you're going to decide which labor profile you are willing to use. Now, when we go and buy our bagged products, I can load those 1 at a time, 2 at a time. I'm not in any rush to get the job done. And if it takes me 2 days or, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not in a rush. So you have to also calculate your time expenditure, I suppose you would say.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, initially we were like bulk and let's get it in. I think now we are more of a, let's just get a few bags. And we don't live far from where we buy them.
Yes.
So
readily available.
We can get some. If you need more, you go back and get some more and kind of do it that way. And I think it works. I know that is your preferred method. You definitely like doing it that way. And so I think it works out great for you.
It does.
Yeah.
I know that Jeff is super in favor of the in-ground gardening. And I have to say there's a lot of positives that comes with it, especially for permanent plantings and perennials and things like that. And I kind of like the raised bed aspect of having veggies because they're right up close. You could look at them. You could play with them.
I like those too. I guess
do.
Just for me, for the base garden, I like it. I like how we've done it. We've got the base garden is kind of in ground.
Yes.
You've got your other little gardens that are set up that are your raised bed. So I like the way we do. I like having a variety of them. So I don't
agree.
I guess it's whatever. I think it's just I like all of it. I mean,
it depends on the plant you're trying to grow.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to put a tree in a raised bed. So I think it's or are you? Can you put one in? Can you put a tree in a raised bed?
Well, you definitely can.
Oh, okay. Heckaroo.
Some of our
Heckarooski.
Some of our little Meyer lemons we have started in some containers.
They're not in raised beds, though.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they're in containers.
There is a designer that I love to listen to. Her name is Bunny Guinness, and she does a lot of work. She's from England, and she has some YouTube's videos. And what she does is she removes the bottoms from her containers, and she'll grow a bay tree or a perennial type tree that she is going to trim into a form, but she's not going to be moving it for years. And she will set that container up with no bottom and use it as a raised bed.
See?
So, yeah,
all right,
it's possible.
I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway, her name is Bunny Guinness if you want to look her up.
Very good. You see, that's why I let you make all the decisions on these things.
Oh, my goodness, you do not.
All right, cool.
It's a team effort.
It is. Kind of, sort of.
But I think that takes care of the raised bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I like that. And so I had a little something.
Ooh.
Hold on. I got to do her.
Yes.
I got to
do this new.
Hey, it's Jeff's Corner. I don't know if it's Jeff's Corner.
I love Jeff's Corner.
So I wanted to kind of ask you if you knew about this. There is a flower called Greg's Blue Mist Flower. And it has recently been named a Texas superstar plant because it is a low maintenance, long bloom period, and it attracts pollinators, especially butterflies. And I've got this off the Texas A&M AgriLife website, which is agrilifetoday.tamu.edu. They have a lot of good stuff,
They
obviously.
do.
And there's a professor there, Mike Arnold, and they've named this a superstar. Now it goes
Wow.
by Greg's Blue Mist Flower, and I'm going to just absolutely kill these names, FYI.
Uh-oh.
Conoclinium Greggy.
Okay.
All right, so mist flower, a palm leaf thoroughwort, a Texas ageratum, or its former botanic name, Eupatorium Greggy. Boy, I'm brutal on these things. It's a herbaceous perennial, Texas native. If they established you establish them in the spring, late summer, and they have the late summer and fall seasonal color.
Oh, nice.
So,
Oh, nice.
I mean, I'm telling you, this thing looks pretty cool. And it is a king among butterfly plants for late summer and fall landscapes.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
So you got the butterflies and queens, migrating monarchs and everything. They're pretty cool looking, to be honest with you. They produce clusters. They small composite sky blue or baby blue to lavender blue flowers, and they bloom continuously for months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
I think we need some of that.
They look pretty darn cool. They kind of look furry if you look at them. They kind of got a little furry there. And the thing is, you basically, they're full sun. You just, I hate to say, you put them in, you just let them go.
Nice.
You don't have to mess with them.
Oh, that is very nice.
So you put that on your list, Mary. Greg's Blue Mist Flower. It thrives on being ignored once it's established. And I like
Nice.
that.
And
I like it.
Jeff is going to provide the reference for me so I could add it to the blog.
I am. I will provide that reference. And this is a pretty cool little article. But there you go. And when you look at it, you'll recognize it. But it's not one we have currently. So I'm going to be a proponent for it.
Good.
There you go.
We'll have to help me look for it in the garden
There
center.
you go. Well, that's what I had for this time.
Thank you. Jeff's corner was very informative.
We're going to go new section. Jeff's Corner. I'll come up with something. I've been coming up with stuff though. You got to give me credit here.
I do applaud you.
Coming up with some stuff.
I love it.
There you go. What else you got?
I think that I have discussed everything I had on my plate for today, and I am not sure what the topic next week will be, but I look forward to discovering a good topic.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always come up with good stuff. And I did want to let everyone know. So we are definitely back. Well, when I say we, I mean Mary. She's back on the blog, making sure we get that updated weekly. We usually get that updated either the day or the day after we post. So if you look out there, you'll see a lot of the references she spoke about today. We'll get my little Greg's Blue Mist Flower out there.
Absolutely.
And let you guys know what that is, which looks pretty cool. Anything you can just stick in the ground and let it go. It's
Set
pretty
it
awesome
and
in Texas.
forget it.
But yeah, do check that. We've been trying to post more on Instagram as well at Mary Bird's Garden. So if you get a chance, check those out. And we definitely appreciate you guys sticking with us here. We're having a lot of fun doing this and hopefully passing on some good info for you.
And I wish everyone very happy gardening.
Happy gardening.
Stay safe in the heat.
Yes, definitely stay safe. It's really hot out there. So we will see you guys next week. Same time, same place.
Bye for now.
Bye.